Hello everyone. Yes, it is March the 20th, 2017, day 17 of TowerGate, and I can honestly say day 1 of the cover-up. Okay, so I know there's a lot of really frustrated people out there. For those of you who tried to watch some of the hearings this morning with Director Comey and the head of the NSA, Rogers, I'm sure that a lot of you are really spitting mad right now. But I told you that there is nothing that's going to come of this whatsoever. It will be a big cover-up. The people who will be called to testify will not actually answer any questions. They will hide behind national security, don't comment on investigations, prior investigations, current investigations, future investigations. In other words, they are not going to answer any questions because this entire thing is a setup. What is going on here? Let me tell you. These hearings are, as I said, are a puppet show. They are not designed to get to any truth. They are part of a cover-up. The players involved, Comey, head of the NSA, the CIA, the Attorney General, the State Department, you name it, you go right on down the list. It really doesn't matter. These people are part of the deep state. These people worship the deep state. They will do everything to protect the deep state. But this is far, far worse. Because let me tell you where all this is going. After we have this cover-up for about 2 weeks, all that's going to come out of this, and what the main goal is to come out of this, is to make President Trump look like he's some sort of an unhinged, crazy person, conspiracy theorist, and someone who is not sane enough to be the President of the United States. This is where all this is going. This is what this is all about. This is simply to destroy the credibility of Donald Trump, ultimately to set up what? To set up the impeachment hearings. Why? Because at the end of these hearings, what they're going to say is, okay, so we've proven that there were no, even though they won't have, but they'll say we've proven that there were no surveillance, that the Obama administration did not approve any surveillance. There was no type of surveillance going on with Donald Trump. He's making all this up. But the very fact that he accused a previous president of sedition or worse means that he is not fit to be in the Oval Office, and therefore he must be impeached. This is where all this is going. These are the hearings that are going to be the setup to the impeachment hearings, which will be coming because they are going to successfully make Donald Trump look like he's nuts. That's why I said he never should have gone this route to the Congress, other than maybe he's got some sort of hand he's holding that he's going to throw down at the last minute and save his neck. But I don't know if that's going to happen. It's hard to say, because where would he get the information he would need to save his neck? From the intelligence community? The only thing I can see that Donald Trump could possibly do right now is to fire Comey, fire Rogers, fire every damn person in all the intelligence agencies across the board, as well as the Department of Justice. Get your people in there and then declassify anything that you need to declassify in order to save your neck. Because this is the only way that I see this thing playing out very well. This whole thing looks to me, I watched 15 minutes of it, that's all I had to watch, and I knew that it was a setup. The only real question they wanted to get answered today, if there was one question they wanted to get answered, it was there ever a request approved or denied for a FISA warrant or FISA warrants? James Comey can't comment on FISA warrants. It's too secret. They can't give up methods or maybe sources. Holy shit. Mr. Comey, in case you haven't noticed, apparently the Russians have hacked into every damn server in the entire U.S. government complex. We have WikiLeaks releasing top secret NSA data files showing how they do everything that they do. The FBI, we have people leaking stuff, and you can't comment on who might have been a person who unmasked the conversation. You can't comment on that. You may have an investigation, but you can't really talk about whether you may have an investigation to see if someone broke the law. You see, folks, where all this is going? It's just what I told you. There is not going to be an investigation. This is a cover-up. They are going to try to Donald Trump all the way out the door of the White House. They're going to be up his all the way until he's out of the White House. These hearings are nothing more than to, at the end of these hearings, to be able to conclude nothing else, that Donald Trump is unhinged, he's crazy, he's a madman, he's not fit for the office, and now he's accused of previous administration of sedition or maybe worse, and therefore impeachment hearings should be called for. This is what is going to happen. So anyway, you can continue watching this if you want to, but I can tell you that you're only going to get even more and more frustrated, because they are not going to answer the questions of whether or not there's FISA warrants. They're not going to talk about whether or not there's any real investigation. The only thing they're going to do is use these hearings as a stage, as a platform to destroy President Trump and anyone around him. That's what is really going on here, folks. You are watching the setup of what will eventually become impeachment hearings. That's what you're watching, in case you haven't figured that out. Now let's talk just very quickly about a little something that popped up last night, yesterday afternoon. Alex Jones, love Alex or hate him, I think he means well a lot of the time. Yes, he's way over the top. I understand all that. But just for the record, last night he did have Jerome Corsi and this Mike Zulu, who was the detective that worked for Sheriff Joe Arpaio in studying the Obama birth certificate issue. And they apparently have discovered from a software engineer named Montgomery, who is a kind of a Edward Snowden type guy. He was an NSA person working as a software engineer. He came into contact with a program called Project Dragnet, which was basically gobbling up and collecting information on thousands and thousands and thousands, in the terms of hundreds of thousands of people. And apparently Donald Trump and many people around him names have come up in this dragnet. This dragnet apparently started in 2004 and went to at least 2010. We don't know if it's still going or if it has been stopped. But as a result of these documents, which Corsi has, and he has said that he has sent them to the FBI, or he's going to send them to the FBI, the Department of Justice. He wants to testify, blah, 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 blah. Apparently all this was already done. This whistleblower brought these documents to law enforcement, to the courts, back in 2013, and nothing was ever done. It was just ignored, pretty much, which is what always happens. You know, it's just like this morning when the NSA director, when asked the question, the head of NSA, Rogers, do you use a foreign government like possibly British intelligence to do spying for you? And what is the response? Listen very, very carefully to how they respond to these questions. His response is, oh, well, that would be totally illegal. The same type of responses you'll get from Comey or anyone else in the intelligence or FBI. They will tell you when you ask them a question like that, their response will be, oh, well, that would be illegal. We couldn't do that because that would be illegal. As if they don't just go ahead and do illegal shit anyway, which is what they do. We know for a fact that the American intelligence agencies have been using the British and foreign intelligence agencies to do surveillance inside the U.S. since the 1960s. This is a known fact. No, they're not going to come out and admit it. No, they're not going to come out and say, yes, that's all true. Of course they're going to lie. I told you they were going to lie before this thing even started. They will not tell the truth. But it's much worse than that. It's much worse than that. If you watch these people, they're so arrogant. Whether it's Comey, head of the NSA, the CIA, the DNA, it doesn't matter. The Attorney General, it doesn't really matter. These people, in their mind, they are literally gods. They are a government unto themselves. They don't feel that they owe any, are required to have any accountability or response to the American voter. Here we are sitting in the country, 250, 300 million people, dying to know if there was ever FISA request issued, dying to know if there was ever any surveillance or if they have any evidence of surveillance. And what do we get? Well, we can't comment on that. It's a matter of national intelligence. Oh, we don't comment on investigations. So why the did you come to the hearings? If you can't comment on a single thing that you're being asked, then why are you here, Mr. Comey? He shouldn't be. So, I'm sure that you all are probably just as pissed off as I am. I certainly understand it. What pisses me off is not so much that they're not going to answer any questions, they're not going to give any truth, and this is going to be a big cover-up, as I said it would be, a puppet show. What's really bothering me is that I can really see where all this is going. I know where this is going. At the end of the day, as I told you, this is nothing more than to set the stage for the impeachment of President Trump. That's what this is. And they're going to do it by using these hearings to make him look like he's incompetent, unhinged, unwired, and not fit or not capable of fulfilling the duties of the office of the President of the United States. This is where all this is going. I said a long time ago that Comey should have been, Trump should have asked for his resignation while he was waiting for the inauguration date. He should have said, Comey, just go ahead and resign. And if you don't, I will fire you on day one. This entire swamp needs to be drained. When Trump said he needs to drain the swamp, he needs to. I don't give a shit if he's got people to replace those 4,000 or 5,000 people or not. Fire them anyway. Replace them when you get around to it. They're doing you more harm than good right now. They're not helping you. They're actually engaged in the process of helping to screw you. You've got to get rid of these people, President Trump. They are going to take you down. And it may be too late now. So at this point, if I'm Trump, I declassify those FISA requests. And I don't know. I mean, this is. I'm watching what's happening. I can see it. It's like a slow motion train wreck. I know where this is going, and I just don't understand why whoever is advising Trump to take the path he's taken is making a huge mistake, counting on the establishment to investigate the establishment and find that there's crimes or wrongdoing within the establishment is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Okay? I would have never advised President Trump to go down this road whatsoever. Ever. So, anyway, these documents regarding what Alex Jones and Corsi and Zulu and those guys, these documents will never see the light of day. They'll never even be covered in the mainstream media. They'll never be covered anywhere. These individuals will not, this information will not make it into the hearings. None of these people will be questioned. They will not look into Project Dragnet or any other fucking project. Okay? Because it's a cover-up. That's what this is. And I'm sick of it. I know you're sick of it. I mean, at this point, the American voters, both Republican and Democrat, have a right to know what the f is going on. Clearly, there's something going on. And the idea that we're just trying to protect intelligence and methods and sources and all, what a bunch of bullshit. Because, obviously, there is no secrecy within the intelligence agencies. Apparently, the Russians and anyone else who wants to get into their systems and steal their damn documents can do it. They act like they're protecting some big secret. There's no big secret to protect as far as your methods and what you're doing. Apparently, the Russians can hack anything, right? The big thing, the big secret that's being covered up is what's going on within these intelligence agencies, in the intelligence community, within the shadow government, to try to orchestrate a coup against a sitting president. That's what's going on. Oh my God. The fact that I have to sit here and even try to watch, I literally can't watch more than 5 minutes of these hearings. Because within 5 minutes of a hearing and watching one set of questions and answers, I can tell what's going to happen. I knew what was going to happen before this even started. This is going down a very, very, very bad path here, folks. I can tell you where it's going to end up. Impeachment hearings. Mm-mm-mm. Alrighty. Well, that's where we are. March the 20th, 2017. Day 17 of Towergate. Day 1 of the cover-up. The precursor to the impeachment hearings, which are absolutely bound to come. You have a good day. See you tomorrow.